In today's Candoo Learning video, we're going to cover how to determine whether or not something is a scam. So this is very important and very common as you're using the internet. My name is Christian. I'm the instructor for today's lesson, and I'm part of the Candoo team. So determining whether or not something is a scam is probably something that you'll come across quite regularly, unfortunately, when you're online. So we're going to give you some very important tips to help spot these so that you don't fall victim for these attempts. Here's a video to help walk us through some good tips to start us off with.
Tobag says hackers no longer need to infiltrate computers through a back door. She says 95% of hacks today happen after a user clicks on a text, a link, or gives personal information over the phone. She said hackers armed with basic information, like a relative's name found online or an app that can mimic a voice or change the caller ID, can create a convincing story.
If you were to receive a phone call, a text message, an email, and it's asking for something sensitive, urgent, or with fear, that's when the alarm bells have to go off in your head and they want me to give something to them. I'm going to take a beat and I'm going to check that this person is who they say they are. I call it being politely paranoid.
All right, so that clip we like to include because it's something very relevant in what they describe. So this is some real tips to spotting a scam that we'll go ahead and now share. And it really starts with some questions to ask yourself. So just as detailed in that brief little clip that we had just watched, the first question you want to ask is whenever you see these pop-ups, or maybe it's a text message, maybe it's a phone call or an email, you want to ask yourself, am I being asked for something sensitive, urgent, or with fear? Am I being pressed to do something with this message? These high pressure tactics are very commonly used by scammers to exploit vulnerabilities. Next, you want to be able to verify the source. We don't want to just trust an email or a text message, pop up, or a phone call and just assume that this is a legitimate phone call or message that we're receiving. You want to be able to look up the contact information through official channels such as a website or maybe a document that you have. This is especially important when you get a call claiming to be from your bank. There's other ways to confirm and contact these institutions through verified contact information and instead of unsolicited messages or notifications that we see on our computer or on the phone. That clip that we saw earlier also mentions being politely paranoid. That means it's okay to tell the person on the line, I'm going to call back later. Let me call you back, right? Especially if it's someone that claims to be someone you know. Be okay with calling them back after you verify some information. There's no need to act right then and there. Always be skeptical and cautious of these unsolicited or unexpected messages, especially if they're claiming that you've won something, like good news, you've won something that you didn't even know you entered, and are requesting your personal information to claim it. Legitimate organizations don't reach out randomly. Don't rush. These the high pressure and telling you to act now and to not miss out is something that scam artists do regularly. That sense of urgency, taking the time to evaluate the situation, maybe have a break to discuss it with friends, family members, people that you trust, to get their opinion on it. Be aware of upfront payments. This includes cash, wire transfers, or gift cards, since these are very common ways that scammers will get money from you. Legitimate businesses will offer secure payment methods and allow you to verify services before making a payment. So there shouldn't be a rush to provide financial transactions or information, especially when in these types of situations. Let's take a look at some real life examples, because this is where it really gets important to know what we're looking at. Here we have a text message, an example of a text message, and this is claiming to be a notice from Amazon. The first thing to be aware of is this is actually from a phone number, like a regular phone number, rather than maybe a short coded message that's actually commonly used to notify you of important things. So that's number one. These types of notifications won't come from a regular phone number. There's also urgent action in the message, right? There's some type of order number included to make it look legitimate, and specific details about a MacBook Pro purchase with the specific amounts in there. These are all to make it look legitimate. And really the purpose of this message is for you to really dial that phone number in the message immediately to verify this purchase. Now, if you have a smartphone, you'll also notice there might be a little pop-up or notice at the bottom saying this sender's not in your contacts, and you can report it as junk. In this situation, I'd recommend, if you have an Amazon account, contacting them directly when you're logged in the app or on their website. That's the best way to reach out and verify if this is correct. Obviously, if you don't have Amazon, then this is a spam message that you received, and we'll go ahead and recommend you to tap junk in that link right there so that your phone doesn't continue to receive messages from this phone number. Here's an example of a pop-up message that you might receive on a computer. This is very clearly trying to get your attention with its notice of a warning. Your computer might be infected. It has a phone number to contact for emergency tech support, and it has other details on here. So what you'll see is that this is actually something from the internet. It's a window that will appear in the browser, and that's telling us it's from the internet. It's not actually something from your antivirus or anything else. You want to look for messages that are from your antivirus program rather than from the internet like this. So in this case, we would want to close this window by looking for the X in the top right corner. If it's difficult to get rid of this window, go ahead and just turn off your computer or restart it. Here's another message with some highlighted key pieces of information. So this one is another message, and this is maybe if you use Safari quite a bit, you'll see a message that looks like it's from Safari, which is telling us it's from the internet. And it actually has a website here that makes it seem like it is from Mac or Apple. But in reality, Apple has its own website that is not this one. It also has this long looking website. Maybe it's claiming to be the FBI, and there's also a threat that follows saying that there will be criminal procedures if you don't pay some fine for whatever reason. And really the main purpose of this message, just like the one before, is for you to call that number. Again, we would want you to look at this information, not rush to call, and realize that this is from the internet not from your computer, and we would advise you to close this window. And if you can't close it, turning off your computer and turn it back on should do the trick. Here's an example of an email. Now this email at first glance looks like it's actually from Prime. Prime is a service by Amazon, but a closer look will yield some suspicious characteristics. First and foremost, if you take a closer look, even though at the top of the screen it says it's from the Prime team, when you look at it closer, it's actually from this shop at vapestorm.co.uk. It's a very suspicious looking email that has nothing to do with Amazon. So right off the bat, we can verify that this is not actually from Amazon. It's from this email address that claims to look like part of a service of Amazon, which is called Prime. Another red flag is that there is no identifying features to your specific account. It just says "Dear Customer" rather than identifying you by your first name. So this is a very common tactic where this message will be sent to hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of email addresses, hoping that one person falls for it. And the purpose of this message is that you click that blue button at the bottom of the screen that says "Extend for free." So this is really a tactic to get your information. Maybe you have Prime, you're going to worry about it running out for some reason, and you'll click on that blue button if you rush, and it'll ask for your personal details and make you vulnerable with this scam. So slowing down will help you see these things like the email address. It just says "Dear Customer." And if you even take a closer look at the title, the grammar is a little off. It says "Your account Prime will be removed today," and so it really is enforcing that sense of urgency at the loss of really just grammar, the grammar and the tone. If you have any questions about our support or our services with Candoo Tech, we are here to help. If you'd like to try a session and learn more about staying safe online, avoiding scams, give us a call. Our phone number is here on the screen. If you'd like to get in touch with us via email, you can do that as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to watch this video. Have a great day.